Thank you very much. Next speaker, Sri Anil Desai ji.
Thank you, Deputy Chair, sir. Sir, Honorable Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman presented the Union Budget 26-27 in this House on auspicious day of Maghi Purnima. Lot of expectations were there from the Indian population, common people, and all alike. The total expenditure estimate of 53.47 lakh crore, that is 7.7% higher than revised estimates of 25-26 that was presented. In this, interest payments account for 26% of the total expenditure, and which is 40% of the revenue receipts. Whereas the total receipts other than borrowings are estimated to be 36.51 lakh crores, which is 7.2 higher than the revised estimates of 25-26. Revenue deficit in 26-27 is targeted at 1.5% of the GDP, which is the same like revised estimate of 25-26. It is unchanged. Fiscal deficit of 26-27 is targeted at 4.3% of the GDP, which is lower than the revised estimates of 4.4% of GDP of 25-26. So as far as debt is concerned, government aims to reduce its outstanding liabilities to around 50% of the GDP by 2031, that is in 5 years. In 26-27, outstanding liabilities are estimated to be around 55.6% of the GDP, 55.6% of the GDP. This budget 26-27 emphasized the need for fiscal consolidation, targeting a reduction of debt to GDP ratio to 50% plus or minus 1% by year 2030, that is in 5 years, which is now 55.6% of the GDP. So fiscal consolidation is being pursued by cutting total expenditure by 5%, but no significant growth momentum is expected, with only 10.9% of the growth in capital expenditure in terms of GDP. There is no corresponding increase in capital expenditure. So there is marginal increase in union government revenue expenditure, which shows at 39.44 lakh from 25-26 revised estimate to 41.25 lakh crores in 26-27. That is a growth of around 4.5%. There is only a marginal increase in transfer towards centrally sponsored schemes, rising from 5.42 lakh crore in 25-26 to 5.49 lakh crore in 26-27. That is just an increase of 1.28%. So it is to be noted that Finance Commission grants have declined from 1.32 lakh crore in 25-26 budget estimates to 1.29 lakh crore in 26-27 budget estimates. So as far as revenue receipts are concerned, only marginal increase is there in revenue receipts from 34.30 lakh crore in 25-26 to 35.33 lakh crores in 26-27. That is rise of around 2.90%. There is no estimate of GST compensation cess collection, and budget is silent about the future of GST compensation cess. I think I would request Honorable Finance Minister to shed some light on this aspect, because we would like to know how the compensation cess stands and what is the future course of it. The share of the states has fallen from 14.22 lakh crore in 25-26 to 14.22 lakh crore in 25-26 to 13.93 in 25-26 RA, which is decline of minus 2.07 for year 26-27. The estimated tax share to states in rupees 15.26 lakhs crore, which is only 7.3 higher than the previous year. Even after considering the 16th Finance Commission tax devolution, the centre's tax share to states amounts to 34.65 instead of, which is mandated, of 41%. 16th Finance Commission recommended state share in divisible pool at at its present level of 41%. For horizontal devolution, there is a change in the criteria and weights from 15 Finance Commission. The major change is the criteria inclusion of contribution to GDP, that is 10% weightage is given, and demographic performance by each state. With regard to revenue deficit grants, the 16 Finance Commission has not recommended that the same be granted to the states. When states fall of revenue deficit, they try to get revenue deficit from the something from the center to carry on with their projects like development or wherever it is needed. But this time around, Finance Commission has regretted, it has negatived the recommendation, which will put the stress on the states, because states are not able to generate any kind of significant revenue, as GST has already subsumed all taxes and there are hardly any avenues left for the center to generate a revenue of its kind. My state of Maharashtra contributes the maximum to the central exchequer. In recent years, we've seen, sir, that we've been contributing more than 5 lakh crore, 5 to 5.5 lakh crore to the central exchequer, but what we get in return is hardly around 3 lakh crore. Though Maharashtra CM, Sri Fadnavis, has said, and he has praised the entire budget, substantiating the facts that around 1 lakh crore will come to the state of Maharashtra, out of which 98,000 crores will be in the form of devolution or the tax returns what we'll be getting by it, and 12,000 crores for various projects which are there in Maharashtra, which have come up, that 26, 27 allocations have been made for different projects. Now, Maharashtra is expected to receive close to ₹1 lakh, but the basic thing, if we go by the budget, whatever has been stated by the CM and whatever has been praised, I mean, the reality is far from what the picture exists on the ground. The projects which have been funded or projects which have been allocated, good amount of, as far as infrastructure is concerned or urban projects are urban development projects are concerned, the projects which have been there in the pipeline, projects which have been initiated and which are in progress, they have been exorbitantly cost escalation has taken place. The overvaluation is being done, and it is favoring the contractors, which comes from to the government, and it gives suspicion for a lie or for suspicion to raise our doubts as far as corruption is concerned in Maharashtra. So whatever projects which are there, Mumbai-Aurangabad high-speed rail, that is 6,103 crore has been provided for that corridor. Mumbai metro projects, 1,702 crore has been provided for that. Mumbai urban transport project, MUTP 3, 462 crores have been allocated. Now, green mobility projects in MMR region, that is Mumbai metropolitan region, 155 crores have been allocated. Intelligent transport system, ITS, on Samriddhi Mahamarga, that is 680 crores. Now these are, and Pune Metro Rail project, that is 517 crores. These projects which ought to have been completed by long, but it is not yet completed, that escalation is on, overvaluation is being done, and this non-completion is not only proving inconvenient to the people, but it comes as a hindrance in the progress of Maharashtra. And who is benefiting out of it? Only contractors are benefiting out of it, and that is in connivance with the government officials or the politicians who are there and the treasury benches of Maharashtra. So these are the things, I mean, not leveling the charges, but this is what is seen by the people, felt by the people, and people feel that progressive state like Maharashtra, why it is taken backseat. Now, sir, finance and economy is concerned, as far as this budget is concerned, high-level committee on banking for Vikasit Bharat is been proposed. Now, banking sector, that is the backbone of Indian economy. Now, this public sector, which had the strength, yesterday only or today only in the papers it has come, that State Bank of India has registered a 31,000 crore profit in the last quarter. So that is the strength and that is the capacity potential what our public sector banks, insurance or whatever public sector units are there. Instead of strengthening them, the government steps are going in the direction of weakening them. Why are we going for disinvestment? Why are we coming with the disinvestment plan? Every year we present a budget. Last year's, I think 75 to 80,000 crores were meant to be recovered in the revenue was to be received by way of disinvestment. But what has happened? Not even 40,000 crores came our way. And today, banks like IDBI, which is just, IDBI employees are worried that why it is being thought or why it is being put on the panel that it will be privatized. Private banks are not going for the people, they are not going for the employment, they are not going to help you. Now in the banks, instead of having where the potential is so large, when you have good profits, banks which were shouldering the responsibility of addressing the unemployment issue in the country, now they are not because government has tied their hands. Whenever we talk to managements, they are saying we are not getting clearance from the finance ministry. So if this be the case, where would the people go? When we call that brain drain is happening day in, day out from India, where the youth would go if they are not finding, despite having good qualifications, they are not having any chances to get employment into banks or public sector, this thing where they would make their future. If that is so, they have no alternative but to leave the country. And this is a sad situation when we talk of creating employment. On one side, wherever employment opportunity, capacity is there, employment is not given. Even this is happening in case of insurance companies also. Insurance companies who were doubted that one day all three general insurance companies were to be made one, or they were to be by way of disinvestment, they were to be decided. But now that, their solvency ratio and everything which has come up with the employees' hard work, now the government's stance is, fortunately, it has changed. But these are the things, which we need to look. Labor and employment, what has happened to the labor code? Labor code has given, enough of opportunity, or it is one lopsided labor code is being developed, which is benefiting the employers, and there is absolutely no say for the employee, no say for the labor. Today, what is the situation? When we have started saying that gig economy, why it has come? In this gig economy, people who are working, those poor who are working there, they are slogging day in, day out, all 24/7. Who are they? They are engineers, they are chartered accountants, they are lawyers. They are not getting that kind of employment. Self-profession is easy to say that you can give jobs to others. You have the capacity to give jobs to others, but when the question comes of sustenance, the job is required for the people who have gained some kind of qualification, which is not so. Where policy is going wrong, government needs to think over this and really think for the youth of the people. Now, skill training, many things are coming up, but where the things are going. So 2 minutes. Education. The government, with the new national education, new education policy, it has a lot of flaws. What about the teachers? What about the students? There is a wide gap between urban and rural teaching, rural institutions, where you don't get teachers. And teachers also are facing that problem is not yet addressed, that TET, Teachers Education Eligibility Test. Those who joined as a teacher long back when this law wasn't there, even they are made to appear for that TET, Teachers Education Test. So this flaw should be removed so that a society is built, because teachers we look up to, that they educate the society. So as far as health is concerned, whatever provisions and allocations are there, they're not up to 2.5% as declared by the government, not provision of 2.5% to the GDP. Now, what is the situation in the state, my state of Maharashtra? If you see the plight of the government hospitals, no one would dare to go, no doctors, there is no medicine, patients are lying there are no beds for patients to accommodate on the beds, they are lying on the corridors. And this kind of things which is happening not only in rural areas in the city like Mumbai also.
Now, please try to conclude.
Once. And agriculture, we are giving a 10,000 crore credit line. Everything is spelled out. Everything is there on the paper. But what is the reality? The suicides which are becoming suicides has become a pattern. By the day, numbers are increasing in the state of Maharashtra. What is happening? Why it is happening? Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, really is it working? It is on the paper. Why, when a farmer is paid a claim of rupees 3 and 6, you can imagine how that working is, what the formula is, who is formulated that, and what is the agencies doing, what are the people doing. And a poor farmer has, I mean, his dreams are finished. He has nothing to look up to. And they are finishing their lives because there is nothing, no tomorrow for them. So, and last but not the least, the main is Manrega. Now it is renamed as VBG Ramji. But what is the basic character of this scheme itself is changed. Now it is the government, if needed, the central government was funding 90% of it, 100% of it. But now if it is needed by the state would request the guarantee of days. We've shown that it is 100 it is extended from 100 to 125 days. What is the use of it? You have changed the character, killing the Manrega, killing the poor labor in the country.
Yes,
and
thank you.
To conclude, I'm just concluding, I would say that when we think that robots and AIs will be the future of tomorrow, Viksit Bharat, but see, government should ensure that people who are living human beings in India, they are taken care of before the AIs rule over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, Sri Dileshwar Kamet ji.